iPhone? No. And morning parents, welcome. Can you please write your names and the names of your students on the chat? Thank you. So good morning, everybody. I know Miss Patrick's not here yet. She's with a parent right now, but we're gonna get started. I want to welcome everyone, and we're gonna go over the calendar. Does everybody have a booklet? And for the parents online, I will be posting this later today. Okay, so we're gonna go over the calendar. So as you know, we are having SATs today for our juniors. They're already, all of our juniors are taking that SAT. It's their first time that they're taking SATs. In 10th grade, I believe they took that PSAT, which is the practice. So, today they're taking that. Today is the SAT.
Prácticamente el examen de práctica ya lo hicieron, este es el examen estatal.
So today is a regular day also, it's no minimum day. So dismissal time is for 3:16. Also, we have a baseball playing today in softball. Tomorrow, our English learners will be taking the LSAT exam. That's annual exam that they take until they reach the level enough so that they can be reclassified. Just last week, we had the reclassification ceremony. Just from UP, 22 of our students reclassified. So that's 22. 22 of our students. Friday, we have a blood drive. It's open to the public. Everyone is welcome. All you have to do is just come to the office and then we will send you to the gymnasium. I think that's where they will be having it. So everybody's welcome to come and join. We also have games. We have concerts. I skipped the Thursday concert. So we have a pre-festival concerts. Thursday, it's for strings, intermediate strings, advanced orchestra and orchestra. Okay, and they're at 7 p.m. It's just for 1 hour. It's just for them to get prepared for the competition that they will be attending next week. Okay, so it's just, to get them, on that attitude. Then Friday, we have choir. We have cantare and madrigals that will be performing. And on Saturday, we have symphonic band and ensemble at 6 p.m. During the morning on Saturday, we will be having the enrollment and showcase fair at the San Bernardino County Fairgrounds. It's just an opportunity for all families in the high desert to see what each school offers for their new students that are coming into their schools. We have baseball tournament also. Now next week we have Wes will be visiting us. I'm sure everyone received a message from me asking you guys to please come and support our parent group. We will be having like a focus group on Sunday at 3 p.m. And all parents that would like to come, they're welcome. They will be asking questions, what needs do we have, what we like about our school and things like that. So, sorry. Thank you. So please, if you can participate, we encourage you to please come. We will be meeting here at 3 p.m. Lunch will be provided.
For what?
For West.
Oh.
West. That's the first day. It's actually 4 days. So this organization That's where we receive our accreditation. Every 6 years, we go to this process. So, it's been, a long journey, we've been having meetings, teachers, staff, students, where we, work on the areas to present this report to this organization. Okay, so let's see, on the 12th, we have a field trip for choirs. They'll be going to, I think it's a competition. I think they're going to San Dimas, the school, so, it's gonna be a busy week as well. Like every week here at UP. We have volleyball game, then on the, what is it, the 13th? That's the festival, where our, I believe it's, orchestra and, symphonic band, and we'll be attending this competition. And this is in Redlands. It's gonna be a long day. We leave at 7:30 and we come back at 10:30 p.m. So it's gonna be a long day. We need volunteers, fingerprinted volunteers, please. If you're interested, got one, I got two probably, yeah. Got three? Oh, four? Okay.
You've got symphonic band, because Mr. McGee said that one thing, I don't think symphonic band is going on the third.
Is it, wind ensemble?
Ensemble going.
Okay, wind ensemble. Yeah, not all of the groups are going. I wasn't sure if it was symphonic or wind, it's probably wind ensemble.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. So yeah, we do need, chaperones, so please, keep in mind that it's a long day, so we leave very early, we come back late. So, if you have other kids, so you can make arrangements. El 13 de, el 13 de mayo, prácticamente, sí, las próximas semanas, miércoles, next week. That's for, we also, no, for choir, we're good because it's only a small group. So it's only 2 of us that will be attending, as chaperones. But we need them for the competition, SCSBOA Redlands High School. Redlands High School. Yeah, that's where we need them. Number 13. Yes.
Pero tienen que estar fingerprint.
Yes, they need to be fingerprinted. If you're able to attend, just send me an email, so that I can. Thank you. Let's move on. Okay, the 14, we have our parent workshop. Every week we have parent workshops. They're presented in Spanish, but we have translation available. If you'd like to attend, we are working on the Google Suite applications. The Google Suite, all of the applications. It's very interesting. It's even, people that we already, very knowledgeable in computers, we still learn something new. So it's very interesting.
Mari, what is your email address?
Mary at BBU HST. Thank you. All right, so, where was it? Okay, the parent workshop. So yeah, we meet here every Thursday at 9 a.m. It's only, what's it, 2 hours? 2 hours. Lakewood will be having an, activity. Now, Lakewood, it's a club that, plans activities for our middle school kids. So that's why it's only during lunch. Sometimes they have activities after school. So, in this particular day, they will be having, an event or an activity during lunch. And I think this Thursday, they have one after school. Oh, there it is. That's slime and painting. So it's for 1 hour. So just so you know, if you have middle schoolers, just invite them, encourage them, This is for them to start, socializing, some are shy, some don't want to, be involved in activities. So this is a nice opportunity for them to get involved in different activities. Now, the 15th, we have Gene Day.
You say Jim?
Gene Day. Gene Day, ASB is,
Yeah.
will be having that event. It's a $1 donation, so kids are welcome to, wear jeans, and the soft shirts. What else we have? We have, baseball that day, we have practice, UP Palooza. Okay, here's a big one. So Yupipalooza, it's the 15th. It's where all of our clubs, they set up, booths, they sell food. We're gonna have performances. I was just listening to our mariachi band yesterday. They were practicing. So they're doing an excellent job, putting together different performances for everyone. So, please come, we have tickets available. Our bookkeeper is here today. Please, it's open to the public. So we do need chaperones, but, all right, we don't, chaperones don't need to be fingerprinted for this event because it's open to the public. So, please, I'll be sending a list out so that you can, sign up for that. Ms. Hatcher is back.
All right, I apologize for being late. It's over here. Okay, but guess what? We gotta celebrate something because it's Mrs. Mary's birthday today. So we got to sing happy birthday to her, right? Right? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
So we, you know what, we honor her because she's amazing. Yeah. Late in the midnight hour. So want to honor you in your birthday. So I apologize for being late. I was at another meeting, but I think you went through everything. Did you go through?
On the 15th.
Oh, we went to oh, that was the last thing. Okay, she left stuff for me. Okay, good. I should have been a little later since you didn't come on. Okay, so it looks like the week of the 20. Oh, wow. The next week is warm. No. Yes. No, it's not yet. We still got one more week. I was getting excited. So, the week of get the 15th. I'm sorry. Where am I? Okay, here we go. 18th. All right, cheer practice. We got middle school cheer practice. The Madrigals are going on a field trip. On the, looks like the 19th, and then we have volleyball, middle school volleyball, and then we have Redlands Festival in the morning, and then we have a softball game. We got early out, Link Crew. Oh, they're gonna move their egg race to a different week because they're gonna move it actually to next week because when we have WASP. She did tell you about WASP, right? That's gonna be next week. And then we're gonna have to select some parents to come and speak to them on that Sunday. All right, did you guys already talk about that? Yes, okay, good. All right, good. All right, then we have a Jean Day on the 22nd. We all love Jean Days. We talked about Palooza, we got all that. And then the week after that, we have the last week of March on spring break. So you get to have them. We give them back to you for a whole week. All right. Other questions that you have? Yes.
After spring break, we start state testing. For 7th grade, 8th grade, and 11th grade.
And
Remember, there's the incentive as well.
yes, so don't forget, it's really important that your student gets enough rest, right? At night, that they go to bed. And they want to take their cell phone so they can rest instead of being on Instagram and TikTok and all that other stuff, right? Making sure that you tell them that they're going to do a good job, right? And that you believe in them. That's really important. All right. 7th grade, remember when they go to 8th grade, what is the incentive? Does anybody know what the incentive is?
It's
They're
a
gonna get a
field trip.
field trip, right? So we haven't decided where they're gonna go, but they're gonna go somewhere. And then 8th graders going to 9th grade, they're gonna get money.
ASB's account.
Yes.
Money in ASB.
And then juniors, that's your juniors who are taking the SAT today, who are going to be in their senior year, they get $250 $250 passing English, $250 passing math. That's $500 for their senior account. And I don't know if you know senior account. Anybody have a senior? Okay. Is it expensive? Anybody ever have senior? All right, it's expensive, right? Okay. So encourage them, to take that seriously and to do well. Did she tell you about the distinguished school? You didn't tell them about that?
No, that's only
Yeah, okay, so, we found out last Thursday that our school, won distinguished school. We're super excited about that. So that is you guys, that is our students, that is our staff, that, we are celebrating that. It is the third distinguished school that we have. The state did set aside, distinguished schools awards when they didn't have testing, with COVID and everything like that. And that's when they had the golden ribbon award. So if we count that, it would be our fourth award. If not, it's our third, we'll take it anyway. We're the only one in Victorville. There are 10 in San Bernardino County that were recognized. Melba Davis was one, Historia High School, Oak Hills High School, were also. We're gonna celebrate down at Disneyland Hotel on May the 3rd. So a group of people were gonna go down there to get our award and our flag, which we will post in the multi-purpose room. But we are going to do a celebration. We're gonna have to come up with something to celebrate as a school community. We haven't figured that out yet. Just found out yet last week. What we're gonna do for our kids, all right, in celebrating them. So we need to do that as well. Questions about distinguished school? Yes. No, not questions.
Not about that, about the calendar.
Yes.
I just was wondering, is that soft lockdown for tomorrow? What exactly is?
Yes, so, if, probably not aware, we're mandated to do drills every month, whether that's a fire drill or a lockdown drill or duck and cover drill. So essentially a lockdown drill is we're gonna make an announcement. The expectation is that in classrooms, lights will be turned off, doors, we need to make sure that they are locked. So in just in case we ever do a lockdown, that's essentially what we wanna do. The lights need to be off, it needs to be quiet, okay, and the doors, needs to be locked. So it is just a practice. It's just a practice. So,
Students are aware?
Okay, yes.
I have a sixth grader that I want to bring us the seventh grader for sibling enrollment. Do they have to go through a raffle?
No, the lottery, no. So if you have a sibling, as long as they, they have to meet the qualifications, applications are now available, okay? Fill out the application, you'll indicate that they're a sibling and they'll automatically get in, provided they meet the qualifications. So they don't have to go through the lottery. This Saturday, I don't know if you, know, from 10 to 3, they're having a showcase, but if you have a student at Victor Elementary School, you can pre-enroll them because you'll need to go through that process of getting all their information in the system because they're not part of our district. They're also gonna have a shot clinic, so if your students need shots, they will have for free a shot clinic there. It'll be at the fairgrounds. Okay, San Bernardino County Fairgrounds here in Victorville. So the showcase, I'll be there, 10 to 3. All the other schools in our district will be showcasing, their programs and, we'll do free enrollment for Victor L and Adelanto Elementary School.
So that's on top of the application that we already have to do is, we have to do the.
You also have to do enrollment.
Yeah.
Because the application is for our school specifically, the enrollment is for the district.
Okay, now.
That's it.
Cause I could have sworn in the past that it
It's-
was mine.
Go ahead, I'm
Does
sorry.
the enrollment occur after they've been accepted?
So what they want you to do is that they want you to enroll first. Okay, what'll happen is you'll enroll in the school of your boundary, and then once you get in, they'll pull you into ours.
Because
we don't have a boundary. Like Silverado has a boundary, Hook has a boundary. We don't have a boundary because we take from all over. So they do want you to do an enrollment. And I'll have to ask, well, can you write that down in terms of, can they do it online? Or if they have to go and scan.
How it works,
It
is
is.
they could do all the paperwork online, and then you'll have to go in, well, actually, you could fax or send them the email, the documentation that they need, or you could go in and fill them that. But I noticed that an email saying something about how the schools are gonna take over.
Yes,
enrollment.
yes.
So I think now you're gonna.
Ahora
take in
las van a hacer en cada escuela.
documentation.
La matrícula civil.
That's what it
Líneas
says,
sanitarios,
after
pues
you
tienen que
do
regresar a
all
la
your
escuela y
applications.
llevar los documentos.
It's a license.
What's this?
Why is it dark?
It's like a-
I was like, why is it so dark in here? It's like, then it got really.
Good morning, Mrs. Hatcher.
Good morning, how are you?
Hi, good, thank you. I'm sorry I wasn't able to come in person. I have a baby, but I do have a quick question, please, if I may. I have a seventh grader at the school, and we're experiencing some bullying. And one of the classes, they have a lot of substitutes all the time. So it's happening there and in PE, you know what I mean? Which is normal whenever substitutes are there, but it's excessive, I find. And in PE, but I just don't know how to handle it because he doesn't want to always report it so that kids don't call him a snitch. And, you know, they keep on teasing him, you know what I mean? And I just want to know what your thoughts are about how I should handle it. You know, I'm just this is my first seventh grader, so we're going into those teenage years, and I just want to know if you have any input.
Okay,
Thank you.
That's a great question. Thank you. And then is it okay if I kind of, I'm gonna.
Yes, absolutely. That's fine.
So it seems like for whatever reason, when we came back from the pandemic, we all lost our minds. Especially, so there is a gap in terms of students' maturity level and the amount of teasing, okay, and bullying, for lack of a better word, has increased, okay? Our numbers, a number of disciplinary issues that we've had this year is up. And it's mostly middle school students, mostly seventh and eighth graders, all right? And so what ends up happening a lot of times is that they tell you things that are going on, right? Or they don't. Hopefully they're telling you. And then they say, don't say anything. Don't tell, all right? Because if you tell, it will get worse. But if you listen and you don't say anything, it continues, right? So being able to get them to say when it's happening, where it's happening, and who it's happening with, okay, is gonna be so important, okay? When it's happening, okay, where it's happening, and then who. Name the names, because then what we can do is we can watch, we can tell the teachers to watch, okay? We can call those students in. We use Mrs. Edna, Miss Rodriguez, who does conflict mediation with the kids. She actually does some groups as well in terms of how to get along and, you know, and build a community. But yeah, it's hard, and kids say some really mean things. Well, I don't know, you ever been online and see adults say really mean things too? So it's just a carry over to that, right?
Yeah, I feel like we're resisting everything around us with social media. It seems like it's directed for creating animosity and, you know, badgering and aggressiveness and all those things that, you know. But I think at school, we should be conscious of that. And like you said, so I appreciate that. So I will have him speak up, you know, go to administration and say something to address it.
And even having them write it down, you know, and you can email
Okay.
to let us know what's going on. I think a lot of times people go, you don't care, or you know what's going on. But don't assume that we do. Because there's an assumption, like, for example, I don't have a Facebook page. You will not find me on Instagram, and if you do, that's not me. Okay, that's not me. I don't do it on purpose. Okay, that's just what I chose to do as an individual. I know that might make me a little disconnected, right? It's not like people don't bring you stuff anyway, right? So, but if you see stuff going on social media, somebody was saying there's posts going on back and forth on Facebook, don't assume that we know. Because how am I'm not gonna scroll through it at night when, you know, I don't have anything to do to see what's happening on Facebook. I'm sorry, I'm just not doing that, okay? But if you bring it to us, we will investigate, okay? there's,
Can I make a comment on that?
yes, go ahead.
That's good that you will investigate, because she did just say, it's during the times when you have subs and during PE time for the middle schoolers. So that'll be a good start. You already have a heads up on what's going on. And so you can kind of make the sub teachers aware to watch out for that now, because it's been brought to your attention.
Yes, and one of the answers that apparently, the boys' locker room is a problem, okay? So what they're going to do for next year is they're gonna go to a silent locker room, where there'll be no talking at all in the locker room. So if something goes on, they'll know something's going on, because they're going to a silent locker room. But a lot of times things go on and they don't tell us, or they don't tell the teacher, they could have gotten stuff stolen out of their lock, but they don't close their lock. Or they've lost their lock. So they gotta be able to find their voice and speak up and let you know, and then you let us know. Because when you don't, how do we get to resolve it? There's just two of us. There's just two administrators. For security, okay? We cover a lot of land, but there's holes, there's gaps in the fence, right? That you need to fill in order to help us. Because one of the things we have to be is we have to be a community. I mean, we started off as a community. We have to continue that. But when you don't say anything because they say it's gonna get worse, well, it's already bad. And if by not saying anything, did it ever stop? That's my question. By not saying anything, did it stop? No, because it continues, right? So by saying something, at least makes us aware of it so that we can then let teachers know and our staff know, so what we need to look out for. Okay, oftentimes they say, snitches get stitches. Okay. That's as old as me, and I'm we don't have situations in which kids get the beat down. Okay, have we had fights on campus? Yes, we have. Okay, but I haven't seen any kid get like the literal beat down. I haven't seen that. Okay, they will threaten, all of you tell, but I mean, if your house is being robbed, right? And your neighbor saw it, would you want your neighbor to go, well, I'm not gonna say anything because snitches get stitches? Or would you want them to pick up a phone and call you or call the police? The problem is we've become so, what's the word? Apathetic to what's going on. We'll record something before we say anything as a society, and that's not good as a society. So what ends up happening is they've taught us, evil has taught us to keep our mouth shut, to not speak up and say, well, hey, something's going on. So don't bend your knee to that. Tell them to let us know. And sometimes it doesn't stop immediately. So, go ahead.
And about the whole horseplay, because we've seen this a lot more in school years. They're friends, they're hanging out, they start by, doing this, and maybe pushing and then saying things. And then sometimes it erupts into an argument, or sometimes hands on the other students, but they're friends. And the most likely, the majority of the time, it's our boy. And the next day, they're fine. So they're getting really involved in the moment, and they're starting to argue, it erupts into a fight. So we're telling them to hands to yourself. So no playing, no pushing. And it sounds like it's overkill, but there's a reason why we're telling them that. Because we don't want to see horseplay escalate into a fight as well. So maybe speaking to students and telling them, all right, when you're at school, and stay to yourself. Never play around in that manner. That would be helpful to us as well.
And you know what? The great thing about being a parent is that we can be nosy, right? We have permission to be nosy. right? This one parent said she went into her students' phones to find out some things that she didn't know. Did you know, and I tell you this often, like, unless you have a child paying for their own phone bill, that's. No, everybody, Verizon, AT&T, T-Mobile, whoever your carrier is, you go down every month and you make a payment, right? Or you do it online or however. And you're probably paying $200, maybe more, okay? I don't know. Okay, for a cell phone that you handed to your child that's worth probably $1,000, give or take. That's your phone. It's in your name. And one of the things I would always tell my son when, he attended here, I said, look it, you go on websites, right? And you get to places that you're not supposed to be. That's in my name. I said, so it's my name that's out there going and looking at stuff. I said, don't do that. I like my job and you like to eat. So please make sure that you're doing it, that you're not doing stuff you're not supposed to. But I would take this phone and I need every password. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not gonna figure out, but get curious. Have you at times? Get your phone. Let me see. Oh, phone. Right? So make sure that you get curious to see where they're going and what they're doing. Okay?
A parent wanted to make a comment. Melissa, are you still there? You wanna
You said
say
Melissa?
something? Yeah, Melissa.
Yes, Melissa?
I traveled before for schools here in the High Desert. So that's putting my kids first. I wanted to chime in about the bullying. I wanted to just let the parents know that, I experienced that here. I addressed it, but I also let my son leave in his position as well, as an independent person. He addressed it and told me, I kind of, saw this emotion on him that he didn't talk about at first, but I kind of let him come when he was ready. And, he shared, being bullied. It came to a point where it's kind of assault to me when somebody's throwing food at you, but it's also like, what's the interaction? These are the questions I asked. What's the interaction? Is it a friend? Is it someone you just don't know? And it's just, this person just picking on you. And, he said it was just a peer, and then it got into where it was two individuals and stuff, but it got to the point where he really cried about it. And that was really heartbreaking to see. But I told my son, this is where you take your position and you do what's right for yourself. Do you want it to stop? Then we have to talk about it. And you've already did step one by letting your parents know about it. So I allowed a week and a half go by and I checked up on him and I was like, hey, so have you taken your place in addressing it with the school? And he said no. So I was like, okay, well, if my son's not gonna do it, then I'm gonna, just at least bring awareness, because awareness is key for everything. Communication, also to not only the parents, but just to the schools, so we can help support our students. Well, I came to the school and I 100% appreciate their respect and their time that they gave to me. We scheduled an appointment with the counselor of his, and I showed up the next day and my son came down and, I found a lot more out with the counselor and allowing her to lead the conversation out. And I just sat back and my son told even more details. So I was kind of like, wow, well, this is a really good, opportunity. This is a really good experience for him to feel like he has that, that place of comfort where he could open up and, share that away from mom and dad, because that's what we like to try to do in our house, is allow them to be in their own way, because we want to build or create good humans, build great communication for them, because in life, we have to have these things. Well, ultimately, everything went very well. It was a good moment for me and my son to share in front of his counselor. She was very open and honest with him. And me and my son, he got up, stood up with me, and he just hugged me. And that showed me that that's what he needed. you know, at that moment, so he felt good and encouraged. And from what I hear, it's not happening anymore.
There has been, thank you for sharing, there has been, a lack of development, social development, social skills, soft skills that we talk about. We see that in the greater society, right? And so it's the how we have conversations and how our kids have conversations. Boundaries have gotten blurred, you know, kids fought and they were friends. And it's like, well, you were friends? How did you fight if you were friends? Well, he said this or she said that, and then it just cascaded into something bigger. So being able to have a conversation with your kids about like, how do you communicate? Okay, what words are you using? You know, what tone of voice? Because see, now I'm talking at the tone of my louder, right? This is my Miss Hacker principal voice. But if I need to go down and start to talk like this, it changes the mood. It changes how I'm communicating. And we code switch all the time. We talk, the way you speak at home is not the way you would speak in an interview. Or if you're, if the law enforcement officer pulls you over, or if we know how to code switch. A lot of times kids don't know how to code switch, and we're talking to teachers and they're like, they just don't know how to like communicate in a way that we're used to. How about that? And, you know, during text, you don't know if I'm screaming unless I do it all caps, but it's hard to listen to the tone of a text. You know, that's why texting, we get, I don't know, anybody ever like get miscommunicated or text? Anybody, nobody? No, it's just me. Yeah, right? Oh, I can say that because you can't hear the tone of somebody's voice, right? This interaction is so important. That's one of the reasons why we don't have the phones out, because we're trying to teach them that, but they haven't developed those skills in that 2-year gap. And I know we keep talking about it and people are like, we just want to move on and not think about it. But it cost, there was a cost to it. The kids not being in school, there was a cost to it. Okay? Us not interacting with other people, there was a cost to it. There was a cost in lives. Okay? Some people lost, you know, parents and grandparents and uncles and aunts and all that other stuff. There was a cost. And now we're trying to get back, right, some of what we lost. If you could, you know, I think about you guys as before I come in the morning and the night before, like, what am I gonna say? If you could have a 5-minute conversation with your kids, where your kid talked for 5 minutes and you didn't interrupt. Okay? Just 5 minutes of uninterrupted listening time that you gave each of your children. Okay? What would that look like?
It was the first 2 minutes. There quietly.
Just sitting there quietly for 5 minutes.
No, first 2 minutes, because I do that, like 10 minutes, first 2 minutes, and just fine, everything, and then they say quiet, and I'm like, are you there? And they're like, oh, yeah. It's like,
So if you engaged in a conversation and you said, you know what? Tell me about your day, okay? From the time you got on campus, the entire day. And all I'm gonna do is listen to you. I'm not gonna ask you any questions. You just listened, okay? And then after the 5 minutes were over, okay? You say, can I ask you a little more about 3 things? Tell me a little more about. You're like, I just listened to him for 5 minutes. You did. But the thing is, kids want to tell us. Because when we were teenagers, did we not want to tell our parents? But we were afraid. It's me, I'm just okay, I'm gonna expose myself. We were afraid of what they were going to say and how they were gonna think of us. And oftentimes when we're having conversations with kids, I say, they're going to be angry, okay? If you knew your kid did whatever negative thing, you were going to be angry and upset. That's natural. There's nothing wrong with that. Why are you angry and upset? Because you're hurt, right? If you found out your kid was smoking, you know, or drinking, or a number of different things that they could be doing, right? Because they're doing a lot of stuff, and you found out about it, you would be angry, right? Since that's not what you would want them to do. But you're angry because you love them. And so when you get upset with them about that, you need to back it up with, and I know you know, you're like, I already know, they know that I love them, right? They know I love them. But isn't it good to hear? Like your spouse knows that, you know, but isn't it good to hear from your spouse? And yeah, isn't that good? I mean, you know, isn't that feel? We got a lot of mamas, you know, and daddies. It's like, it feels good to be loved, right? And tell them the reason why I'm upset is because I love you and I want the best for you, right? And it's okay. I might be disappointed, but at the end of the day, and I tell my 19-year-old, because he's 19, everything like that, that I love you and I want you to tell me. I would rather you tell me than not. Because we can work it out together. We can fight it out together. But there's so much that they do want to tell you and they do want to share with you, but they're afraid. Because what you're gonna think. What would you think if me and my girlfriend, me and my boyfriend, me and my, what are you gonna say?
I want a graduation before we do a baby shower.
I'm like, I'm not. You know, but it's another story. Okay, do we have any?
Yes, we do have questions.
Okay, I know.
See.
Let's see, where is there? Is there anything we can do about the traffic after school? Other than, I think somebody called law enforcement, you know, and had them drive by, you can still do that. You know, we're doing everything that's in our power. You know, believe me, if I could give people tickets, I sure would, but I can't write you a ticket, you know? We can just tweet to you, we send out notices. If everybody in this room drove well and didn't pick up your phone while you were driving, that would be great. Call law enforcement, call the city. Lunches, oh, cold, gross. Lunches are getting better. I can tell you about that. They are getting better. They are doing more cooking and not having the pre-packaged stuff. So, if there's specific things that they don't like, if there's specific lunches that they don't like, and I know that varies, let us know so then I can communicate that with the cafeteria staff. You know, I have said, well, yes, we don't want that on there in the menu anymore. So, but let us know specific what it is. Then we can deal with that. So sports, I have 3. Football, wrestling, yes. So we're not gonna have a football team. We're not gonna have a wrestling team. We're still playing with the idea of having a boys volleyball team. Tennis. I think kids can compete in tennis individually. They just need to talk to Mr. Zarnota about that. We do have a swimmer that's competing independently, and then we do have somebody who's running track independently. So there are certain things, but wrestling and football, we're just not gonna have. You know, we're a school of 1,200, a high school of 600. A $10,000 hit in terms of an athletic budget for football. We're just, you know, we have to pick and choose. You know, what we have, we're not Atalanta or Victor High School or Silverado. I mean, so we have to limit what we can do. I'm sorry. for 5 years, you asked, and there've been no changes to the lunch? Oh, man, I'm sorry, I eat for lunch sometimes. I'm not eating fast stuff. Oh, I'm not making fun, I'm sorry. Let us know specifically, have the kids know, and maybe what I'll even have the cafeteria do is, I think that they were sending out a survey. So we'll send out another survey, so we can do better. I'm sorry. Sorry,
The line is.
the line is too long.
So.
Yeah.
So do you know who was sending out the survey so they could be watchful for?
Yeah, it's our cafeteria, but what I'll do is I'll have her contact Miss Neary so that we can work it that way. All right, the line is long. Typically B lunch is longer than A lunch because B lunch is all our high school kids and there's 600 kids. When the lunch is good, the lines are really long. So, but they do a fairly good job of getting the kids through so they have a little time to eat. Any other questions?
Yeah, comment, let's see,
And then I'll,
the orchestra program.
oh, great. Yes, they are amazing. Remember, I talked about the Booster Club. I'm glad you asked that question. So we are going to get, we used to have a band booster organization that was run by parents only and is not officially affiliated with us because you have to get your own, yes,
I tried to get on this on the last meeting.
okay.
I am treasurer of the Booster Club at Endeavor
Uh-huh.
Elementary School. And I had shared last time that it takes a good quality team to get these things started, which is very possible, but it has to be reliable too. And it's a lot of sacrifice for parents to come together. And I'm totally on board with trying to help support that too. It just, we've got to have a good stable.
We have to have a good stable group that is not gonna run away with the money,
Yeah.
you know, and there's gonna be checks and balances and things like that.
Yeah, so this is our first year with our PTA that we just rebooted ever since COVID ended or started and stuff. So, I mean, we've done great. We've raised probably about $15,000
Wow,
this year.
awesome.
In a short amount of time.
Very good.
So it really just, you've got to have that supported team.
And we had a strong one, but what ended up happening is their kids all graduated, they stayed, and they're like, our kids aren't even here, and they haven't been here in 5 years. So, we wanna restart it again, and so probably after spring break, we'll do a call out and see if we have parents who are interested in doing that. And then, you know, we'll figure out how to do it. I wanna invite you, cause you're already the treasurer of someplace else, and you know all the ins and outs.
Got it.
Okay?
I think I can manage this school too. And,
Okay.
you know,
Awesome, awesome. I'd love to bring it back. I think it was a great support. Did we get all the questions online?
Yes,
Yep. Questions that you guys have?
Did you want to readdress middle school hanging out after school and what we're seeing?
So what we're seeing with our middle school students, is that they're hanging out way past what they should be hanging out. Because I don't know if they're communicating to you that things are going on when they maybe not. And so what ends up happening is they're leaving campus, which is scary, right? And they're going into the desert, which is scary because there's all kinds of scary people out there. Some of them are walking to McDonald's and things like that. So, find out, because really past, okay, school gets out at what, 3:16? Unless they're in a sport that's after school or they have a game and tutoring gets done at 4? 4:30, yes. Really, you should be here about 4:15, you know, and some of them are saying they're going to tutoring and they're not going to tutoring, right? They're just hanging out. So, it is, you can get really inquisitive, and you know what I would do if I were you as a parent? I just sneak up here one day after school. Come in early. What you on campus? I do that all the time. And it's like, and their eyes will get really big. Because they're probably doing something, you know, I mean, we do everything that we can to ensure. But we need your help too. Okay, so we're gonna start calling some parents and say your child does not need to be here after school. Because they're just hanging out and finding trouble and you know, trouble is easy to find. It doesn't hide.
Yes, yesterday I was picking up my kids and I was going home and to CVS and Palmdale and Elevado. I saw a group of junior high just run out of the pharmacy and the security was coming behind them. I don't know if it's those
Our
something.
kids?
Yes.
Yes.
They had uniform, they had everything, and I saw them, my kids saw it, better go over there.
I think I've got it across and I was gonna.
Oh, you do?
McDonald's,
Oh,
and
yeah.
And I'm like,
That
what?
was.
What is that
yesterday,
running
yesterday?
out? Yes.
Yeah.
And there was I would say 5, 6 kids.
Yeah, and then they went to.
Yeah, okay, and then they are the middle where you want too, right? They go in there. All over them, right? Okay, so somebody will go over there and find out what happens.
I want to ask you something, since when do you notice that this one is getting a little bit out of control? And since when, the school, withdraw from the policy of expelling kids with a bad behavior? Because, you know, it's like in my house, we're given a second or chance opportunity, kids take advantage of that. And I was concerned, because I mentioned this one to my girl. And then the other one, you know, my other older daughter who was finished school with you already. I say, why do you want to spell the kids anymore? And then I say, okay, and maybe, I don't know, maybe they think that they have, you know, chances like everywhere else. Every place.
So we've been asking that question as well. With the increased number of disciplinary issues that have happened this year, we did not put the policy in place about if you get into a physical altercation, you get gone, right? We're putting it back in place for next year. Okay, you know, the premise was, you know, pandemic happened, immaturity and things like that. And the hope was that like if we suspend you, you know, we put you on a behavior and attendance contract, we talk to you, talk to your parents that your behavior would improve. Well, that hasn't necessarily reverberated throughout the campus, because they're like, we get suspended for a few days and then we'll come back.
We have a couple, if they get like a second suspension, they were automatically dismissed. So we have the students, just not have a first.
But we're going to go back to that. So in the compact, it's gonna say that, I would like to be able to get ahead of it. Well, like I said, for some reason this year, probably more than anything, is that we're hearing about stuff going on afterwards for the most part, right? So what's happening is that people are telling us that things are going on or not sharing, you know, or the kids are reluctant to share because snitches get stitches is what they say. And so then something happens and then we have to discipline. And then the parent says, well, they've been bullied for a long time, but then oftentimes they don't tell us. Okay, so it's important to let us know, but we're gonna go back. We're going to go back to that. We're gonna start clearing off campus. No more hanging out on campus. I guess either myself or Mrs. C will go and visit CVS and figure out what happened. Unfortunately, it was at McDonald's or was it at?
But they're also hanging out McDonald's.
At McDonald's. So what time after school?
Yesterday I was here by 3:15, I was around 3, no later than 3:30.
Okay, so at 3:30? So I need to go sit, you know, with my soda at McDonald's? Alright.
Not that he was early for them.
That was early. They got there at 3:30, they ran
I was
it.
surprised, because
Maybe early high school kids,
Yeah,
right?
they're not high school, they're not high school. I don't know.
Those are UP kids.
Yeah.
Like, and then they were wearing the uniform.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, like,
Like nobody can,
When they wear
you know,
uniform, it says their reputation of the school.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're carrying that uniform and they're not the school, it's like.
All right, so somebody else, so it happened at CVS or it happened at
No,
McDonald's?
it's CVS. I saw them CVS, she saw them, I was on my
McDonald's? All right.
Ayer.
I wouldn't even drive a cart out there and sit in the desert and wait.
If they're representing the uniform and they're out doing stuff, even if it's after school, that they can.
I mean, like I said, you have more problems this year with middle school kids than you have probably ever.
It's not about this.
Yeah.
The kids had their sheets to pick for classes for next year.
Yes.
And my daughter will be going into high school and the counselor mentioned taking college courses. How, would that be like something we could do over the summer or would it be during the school year?
So kids can always take BBC classes, as long as parents sign off. Okay, so we're offering, dual enrollment classes, so this year we only offered one in the senior year, and then I was senior English. So we are going to be offering more, but we're gonna go slow before we can go fast.
Because the counselor mentioned it to me.
Yeah.
I was interested.
Yeah, so there's no class for a ninth grader to take for next year.
So it would be for their sophomore.
Yes, or they can always go and take a class at BBC during the summertime if they want. Yeah, you just have to sign off on it and the counselor would have to sign off.
Okay.
Cause there are certain limitations in terms of which classes you can take. So definitely. Yes,
In addition to the blocking in the driveway, every morning, I'm concerned about the safety of exiting. Because sometimes parents, instead of, they are disregarding the traffic sign, which is very bad. I'm worried with this, our assistant principal, so I don't know if this one is being prepared for.
yeah, ask people, right? We can encourage people. Mrs. C's out there to help kids get across, you know, if somebody has a better mousetrap, I'm good with it. We did have a security taking pictures when people were double parked. And people called and said, why are they taking pictures of my car? Well, because you double parked. But, you know, so, but yeah,
There every morning, these parents, they're not following.
I know.
the traffic.
So the only thing you can do is in unison is go to and ask them to please give out tickets. Cause if you start getting a $400 ticket, you probably would do better. But, I mean,
People, they know that they're doing wrong. Yeah, because if they saw a police, they won't do it. They won't do it. So then.
maybe they can. I'm open. I mean, you know, I don't know what more as a school we can do.
Maybe there's a school police, some code, because I know other schools have.
Our district doesn't have school police. We do, contract out with the sheriff's department for SROs, and they're on the other sites.
But sometimes they're so busy at those sites, they don't manage traffic on their sites.
It's not a.
They're kind of overwhelmed.
Yes.
I know in the previous meetings, there's been like a representative for council, I believe. Are they doing that summer program again for the?
You know what?
Entering.
I have not
seniors?
heard that, but our new career tech, we can reach out to her and ask. And then, she can send stuff out. Okay, Mrs. Neary. I know that they did that in the summer.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Where they would go stay and dorm in.
Thank you. All right, so today our juniors are taking the SAT school day. We're gonna keep the SAT in place. I don't know if any of you started reading that some colleges are bringing back the requirement of SAT. So I'm thinking that's probably, down the road, more and more colleges will bring the SAT. And we will, continue, to do the SAT for our juniors. so that everybody at least has one time that they've taken the SAT and they can have that, in their jackets. And so they got to wear their college shirts and jeans. And so, you know, of course, I'm representing my Cal and my child, you know, Mama Bear. He doesn't want me to ever wear it when I go see him, but I'm like, I am a Mama Bear. So, you know, two kids came in with Cal, you know.
Did you wanna let them know about the career fair we had?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that's
I should make her do this, right? And I get to stand back.
I wish
So, huh?
I wish I could have came.
Yeah, so we had, last Thursday, we had, our career fair for both our middle school and our high school students. So we had the fire department represented, we had, some of, our military represented. It was small, but we're gonna grow it. So, every year, we're gonna be offering that, as, both for our middle school kids and our high school kids. So they all got exposed to it during lunch. It was in our gym. So it was a really good event.
I think they even had like a robotics company.
Yes.
I saw.
Yeah, aviation as well.
Yeah, you know, that was really interesting. The kids seemed to really enjoy that.
Yeah, and so we're gonna do it again for next year and it'll get even bigger. Yeah, and then we took some kids, to the fairgrounds.
Pathways.
Yeah, the pathways, and they said that that was really good as well, so. Eighth graders are gonna go on an eighth grade Knott's Berry Farm trip, so, secured the busing and the funding for that. At the last day of school, we're going to have a fun day, so we'll be utilizing you to come onto campus and help us with that. We'll have, water balloons and games and things like that. Snow cones, popcorn, we can't have inflatables, but. Yeah, we used to do it up, man, on the whole campus, we had dunk tanks and climbing walls and stuff like that. And one day the teacher came by and they're like, what's on that? Not supposed to have that. Okay, so we can't have that anymore, so.
Yes, let the students know when they got the funding for their test scores, you know, from the district.
So typically what ends up happening is before the end of the year, we'll know what the results are, because the state are really good about getting that information to us. So we'll send out information as well. And you should also, get their scores, either by mail or through your email. I don't know.
Aries.
Well, you have access to go to Aries, and then there's a button that says, test scores. And
Yeah,
when
we'll let
they
you know
download
when
it, you
they're
open
ready.
it up, it'll give you that report. But that probably won't be.
There's a
beginning of
comment.
Next school year.
Let's see, what is the deadline for summer, fall?
The deadline for summer and fall concurrent enrollment for VBC? Is that what you're asking? I would say, I would say reach out to counselors regarding that, because they'll have it. They'll know.
And Sarah's asking about policy, what's it go,
There was a question, about policy. What policy?
Sarah?
I have meetings today, so.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll be here afterwards.
See about, for disciplinary purposes or something. I missed the name of it. Where like a 1 strike or 2 strike or something, some sort of
Oh, no.
next year.
Yeah, so next year, if kids get into a physical altercation, then they're gonna be dismissed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, so we're overtime. I'm sorry. We went beyond our time and I was late. I apologize for that as well. I will be here if you have any questions. Thank you very much. And then we're also working on who we're gonna, have come back for WASP, yes. So that's all next week. We will be very, very busy with that, starting on Sundays. Well, I'll work Sunday. Yeah, so, concerts Thursday night, Friday night, and then Saturday as well. So we'll send you out a blast about who's doing it. If your kids are involved, you already know who's doing it, right? Anything else for the good of the order? No? Yes.
Teaching for guitar, is there any talk about, because I know
we finally got a teacher and then she went on maternity leave and she resigned.
So who's in there right now will finish out the end of the year.
Okay.
If you guys know anybody who can teach guitar and beginning band, please let them apply on EdJoy, because we're gonna be in need of a teacher. All right?
I got
So-
needs for some teacher for guitar, violin, and everything, but. So I need to tell her, she's working in a school right now.
You can tell her to apply, yes, because we're gonna have a position, well, we have a position. All right, you guys take care, thank you, thank you, thank you, I appreciate you guys, thank you.
Just so you know, it was also Miss Hatcher's birthday.
Saturday with this.
So please don't open happy birthday to Miss Hatcher. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Hatcher. Happy birthday to you. Something.
Oh my God. Yes, I love it, thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
I know.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.